Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today I have a message for you, and the divine really wants me to let you know that the divine is always listening, always there for you, and always listening. And even though sometimes you may feel that you have to call upon the divine or call upon your guides, you only have to do that for your human self and for permission and consent, because energetically everything is always about consent because we have free will. So the divine is always listening, and it can intervene in some ways, but to truly get the help that you need and what you're looking for, you have to give permission. And by calling upon the divine, calling upon the angels, calling upon your guides, by doing that and asking for help, you are then giving that consent. But even without that, the divine wants you to know that it is always listening, and it is always there for you, and it is always loving you. It is always looking upon you with love and support and that unconditional love. And I think that this is very, very comforting, especially when you're going through hard times, or like the world is right now going through a difficult time. It is comforting to know that the divine is always listening, and that the divine always hears you, and the divine always wants what is best for you. But it is only our human judgment, our thinking mind, our ego, that places what's going on in our life as good or bad. Because remember, the divine does not have that judgment. Everything just is. Things aren't good and things aren't bad. It is our 3D reality. It is this reality that we are living in, this reality of duality that places things as good or bad. Or that, once that if you're putting out so much good, that bad has to kind of balance it out. But remember what we talked about the other day in the video is that we are here as spiritual beings, as light workers, as way showers. Everyone's a spiritual being, but not everyone is a light worker and a way shower. We have to start functioning from the truth, functioning from connection, functioning from the 5D reality, functioning from where we are going, not where we are, because we have to be the leaders, and we have to kind of like peel ourselves out of this dualistic world, and we have to start functioning from unconditional love and functioning as the true immortal spiritual beings that we are. And this is not easy. This does not feel natural. It is our natural state, but we have so many sandbags tied to, if we're a hot air balloon, have so many sandbags that keep continuing to be tied into us that it feels unnatural to live this way. But it is actually our true natural state. And if you, like, an example is intuition. They want to label it as women's intuition, or they want to label, people as intuitives. But the truth is that we are all intuitives, and it is not women's intuition. Women just tend to be a little bit more tapped in, and that is why it's women's intuition, because women don't have, the masculine energy of a man. A lot of times is that cloudiness, that fog that is keeping them from hearing their intuition. And that those social constructs of being masculine and being a man tends to have men tune out. And, because, you know, listening to your feelings and your guts, like that's girly stuff. That's not what a man does. But in actuality, that, you know, learning to work with that masculinity in a coherent way with your intuition is your truth, is everyone's truth. And it is only our societal constructs that were inflicted by ego that is keeping all of us from hearing that intuition. And it is not just because you are an intuitive person, psychic, you have powers. They're really just abilities that we can all develop. I'll give you an example. I have been feeling a little bit lately that I haven't been hearing my intuition that well. I haven't been hearing my guides speak to me. I've been kind of seeing the signs, seeing the numbers, but I feel like I'm trying to tune in and I'm getting dead silence. And I was asking why, and I was asking why, and I only could hear the one word, and it was just loud, loud. And it wasn't that, because remember, the divine is always a whisper, because this dualistic world is this, hardened world of this permanent things, these things, and the energetic world is, of course, creates these things, but these things become dense to be in this world for us to physically see them and touch them. But remember, there is more than a whole world of things that we do not see, but it doesn't mean that they don't exist. That is the energetic world. But because the energetic world is less dense, it is softer and harder for us to hear when things are loud. So it was interesting because I interpreted that message as loud. Loud is that there are, whether it be my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, what I'm eating, movement or lack of movement, all those other things is making it too loud for me to hear my guides, my intuition, my higher self, the angels. And I was so grateful that that came through, because now that brings my awareness back to, okay, your intuition is an ability that you have to develop and you have to actively work on. And when, as you know, if you've been watching my videos, I am in a season of transition and things are a little, I don't know, let's just call them, things are a little crazy in my life right now. My work life, my personal life, everything. And through all of that, it's like these are the times that I need my intuition the most, but this is at the times that it's almost like hardest for me to hear it. And it's because of the stress, the emotions, all of those human things are being very loud, and it is not making me unable to hear the softness of the divine. And I am so grateful that that came through, because now my awareness is there, and now I can be taking steps and actions to quiet myself, to quiet the humanness, to quiet this dualistic world, so I can then tap into the energetic world, so I can hear it more easily, and it becomes, so it's not going to come, it's going to come through stronger for me, but it's not exactly like the divine is going to be shouting. The divine is always speaking, always wanting to communicate with us, but it is our human, free will, egoic thinking mind that creates the noise that makes it too hard for us to hear. And the reason why the divine can't shout louder is because we have free will. It is because that we have to choose and bring our awareness to the things that are going to help us hear the divine, to help us tap into that intuition, to help us tap into those psychic abilities. And we all have this ability. We just all have to develop it, and you have to believe in it. Because if you don't believe in it, then it doesn't exist, because your beliefs create your reality. So if you don't believe that you have this intuitive ability, then you're never going to have it. I mean, maybe the divine might put little like lightning strikes into your life to kind of wake you up to it and to kind of help you to change and reformat those beliefs. But at the end of the day, you have the choice to believe it or not to believe it. And if, believe it or not, we choose our beliefs, and we can choose to change those beliefs. So we can choose to develop our abilities, and we can choose to believe that we have those abilities. And the divine is always there for us, and always listening, and always speaking to us. It is us that has to turn down the noise. We have to turn down the volume of our egoic mind to hear this, because the divine is always listening. The divine is always there. And even when you don't think that the divine is listening, they are. It is. However you want to refer to it. God, the universe, is always there for you and always listening. Always. So even when you are not specifically reaching out to the divine is still there and still listening. And the divine is always speaking to you as well. So that is our message for today, to kind of quiet down the noise and to bring our awareness to we are never alone, and the divine is always here for us, and the divine is always listening. So speak freely, speak frequently to the divine, and let's, me included, turn down the noise and start to tune in and tap in to what the divine has to say to us. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, don't forget that I am offering free mini sessions, mind, body, soul card pools. So email me at hello@yourmodernalignment.com. I'll put it down in the description as well. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Although it's Friday, and I probably won't make a video over the weekend, so I'll see you on Monday.